Good morning, everyone. I am Atlanta City Council member Byron Amos, chair of the Atlanta City Council Transportation Committee. I'd like to officially call our meeting to order. Time is now Wednesday, June 26, 2024. Introduction of my members. Got to my far left, Councilmember Wan, Councilmember Hillis, and then our vice chair, Councilwoman Collier Overstreet. Make a motion to adopt the agenda. Motion been made and second. Please open the vote.
The vote is open.
Agenda has been adopted. Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion has been made second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Agenda has been adopted. That moves us into public comment. Have several people signed up. First on the list is Dr. Deron Robinson, and you have one person yielding time to you, so you have 6 minutes if he's in the room. Not present. All right, so we'll come back to him. We'll go next to Mr. Michael Jones, and you have 2 people yielding to you, so 9 minutes.
We're not getting it. We've heard nothing about it. No one's told us anything. We still don't have anything. We still don't know where the money is. We asked at that meeting that y'all please do an investigation because there's no oversight down in the Department of Aviation. Nothing's happened there. We've gotten no response from anybody. We have filed truckloads of grievances that we have sent to Labor Relations and Christy Johnson's office. We've passed it up to Human Resources, but Tarlisha Smith is no longer here. Candace Colas, we understand, is no longer here, so we don't know where to go. We're back here again talking to you guys. The unions, Pace and ASME, stood with Tarlisha that they want her back, or they stand with her. But she came down to talk to us in maintenance like I'm talking to you now, and we found out 2 things about Tarlisha. 1, she's a lawyer. She got a law firm in Florida. And 2, she don't have to be in maintenance. That same sentiment was echoed by her deputy commissioner, Candace Colas. They don't have to be there. We still ain't heard nothing from them. We've had meetings since we've been up here in March. Everything come to a head. Everybody wants to meet with us. Nothing's happened. We've done a whole lot of talking. Nothing's happened. Aside from the money, which we obviously aren't getting any answers on, we got to move on to abuse. Now, y'all heard in our first meeting, we were being abused down there. You heard the women. Back in 2018, shift manager then, James Gray, assaulted me in a meeting in front of a whole bunch of people, had witnesses, wrote it up. Nothing happened to him. He is now the assistant director over second shift. That set a precedent for other assistant directors, such as Jerome Brundage, to do the same thing. These people are down there putting their hands on employees, abusing them. Retaliation, discrimination, intimidation on a daily basis. Our head of our department, AGM Chris Jackman, knows about it. Our director seniors, there's 2, and I say seniors because they had to get a pay raise. Daryl Miller and Jason Dennis know all about it. Nothing's happening. Leading by intimidation. You constantly hear April Broader's name. She's not doing anything. She's the head of our human resources. How come we're going around her to come down to the city of Atlanta to get answers and get our problems taken care of? And now these leaders are gone. Who do we turn to anymore? If Jan Lennon, the newly appointed interim general manager, is not even going to have the decency to come to maintenance and introduce herself as the interim general manager and clean up aviation from the top down, who do we turn to? We come to you guys. We have nowhere else to go. I'm appalled and baffled at how these people can come down and commit a crime and still keep their jobs. If I come up there and I put my hands on any of these people around here, I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail, I'm losing my job. But it's okay if your title says assistant general manager, okay? Problem is, nobody's being held accountable from the top. And that includes AGM Christopher Jackman and the two directors seniors, again, because they had to get a pay raise, Daryl Miller and Jason Dennis. Now, I'm standing here today telling you this, along with a very few of us who are allowed to come down here. We weren't allowed. We did it upon ourselves. There's a write-up waiting for each and every one of us when we get back. Promise you. We can't even so much as get promotions that we are due for, that we have earned, because of the fact we spoke up. Now, it's okay to come down here and celebrate Balron Biadori. Just get permission from your supervisor. But don't come better yourselves and bring your coworkers down here. Don't do that. Now, we'll make it hard on you. Accountability. Each and every one of those people I've named, Christopher Jackman, April Broaders, Christopher Jackman, Daryl Miller, Jason Dennis, need to be held accountable for these actions. Let these assistant directors, Jerome Brundage and James Gray, they need to be held accountable for this. An investigation needs to be opened up. Christy Johnson, Labor Relations, know about it. So do the commissioners, Human Resources. Let me move on. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here today to address the critical issues affecting airport maintenance workers. Those individuals who tirelessly work behind the scenes to ensure our city of Atlanta's world's busiest airport runs smoothly and safely. Recently, it has come to light, a significant number of airport workers did not receive the $4.12. We ain't got it. Everybody else in the city has gotten it except for our department. I guess Balron Biador didn't want us to have it, or whomever. And nobody can tell us what happened to the money. These funds were intended to provide essential financial support for those who faced economic hardship due to the pandemic and inflation that's continued on to this day. However, many of our dedicated workers have been left without this crucial assistance despite their continued service throughout these challenging times. Furthermore, there are disturbing reports of abuse and mistreatment to airport city maintenance employees. These hardworking individuals endure long hours, often under difficult conditions, to maintain an operational integrity of our airport. The world's busiest airport, ladies and gentlemen, world, not the US, the world. Yet they face unjust treatment and that undermines their dignity and rights as employees. It is imperative that we, you as a committee, we as a group, and the representatives of the city of Atlanta take immediate action to rectify these injustices. Our airport maintenance workers deserve not only fair compensation and recognition for their essential contributions, but also respect and support during these trying times. Therefore, I urge this committee to investigate the mishandling of our funds intended for airport workers and to assure that every eligible worker receives the financial support they are entitled to and continue to earn every day. Additionally, we must address the reports of mistreatment and abuse to create a workplace environment that upholds the values and fairness, dignity, and equality of all employees. In conclusion, let us stand together to support our maintenance airport workers at the world's busiest airport and to uphold the principles of transparency, accountability, and justice within our city. By taking decisive action today, we can assure a brighter and more equitable future for all residents of the city of Atlanta. Thank you for your attention in this urgent matter. I look forward to working collaboratively with you to address these issues and to make meaningful improvements to each and every one of our City of Atlanta maintenance workers. And with that, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Just say a couple of things. First of all, Mr. Jones, thank you. And let me apologize for not following up with your leadership team in a way that it should have been. But we met, and I just met with the administration probably about 2 weeks ago. Two things was discussed, the 412, and also the bringing everyone up to the $20 an hour thing. To my understanding, there's supposed to be a meeting with you guys today or this week, in which the information will be shared, in which I think you'll find interesting. I don't want to go any further than that. What I do want to know, I think Mr. Smith is the highest ranking person here from the airport. Is that meeting still taking place, or it is still taking place? Okay, so, but I guess there's a breakdown if they don't know it's taking place. So let's bridge that gap together and see what we can do. Also, in regards to your write-up, there's an email that went out from my office, one of my assistants yesterday, inviting any and everyone from the airport, city employees, to attend a committee meeting, because whether the information is wrong or erroneous, you guys was told if you attended a meeting, you need to have an invite. Well, although the meeting came from, although the invite came from someone in my office, everyone needs to understand it is from me. That email came from me, and as long as I am chair, long as the city ordinance and rules of council allow me to do so, any employee from the city of Atlanta is welcome to come and voice their opinion to me as chair, and hopefully to my colleagues on this committee. So that is a standing invite. So I don't know what the write-up, if the write-up is waiting on you, but if it has anything to do with this committee, hit forward and send it to me. Yes, sir. Period. I see a hand, there's public comment, let's talk later. I just want to clear that up. Hopefully we can have this meeting, hopefully we can start moving down the road, because after we deal with the 412 issue, after we deal with the $20 issue, I still hear the uniform issue, still the abuse, which is a whole nother issue. But I say all this to say you guys are being heard. Moving slowly, everything is moving in the city, but you are being heard. So with that being said, I'm gonna leave it there. Walter Brown. You have 3 minutes, sir.
Hey, everybody. I think I've met every one of you all different opportunities. Thank you so much. I'm Walter Brown, president of Bright Sun Community Solutions. I'm here to talk about a very exciting project that the city could participate in, involving autonomous vehicles on North Avenue. I was one of the developers of Ponce City Market years ago. One of the things we had to do was bring in gas-powered shuttles to run people from Ponce City Market to the North Avenue MARTA station. That continues to this day. Still in contact with my colleagues at Jamestown, who are very interested in modernizing that system to an autonomous vehicle, electric vehicle system. And we've been working with Beep Inc. Many of you have met with them in the past. I hope to be talking to some folks here today at ATL DOT. But the opportunity is something we need to react to fairly quickly. There's a SMART grant application due in July, right around the corner. And the idea would be to do a pilot phase where for 18 months we could run 2 to 4 of these shuttles. They hold up to 15 people. Some of you may have tested them out at Cumberland. The idea is that we would begin to replace gas-powered systems with these electric vehicles. Maybe one day they run autonomously. You probably know that North Avenue was already designated as a smart corridor in 2018. Money was spent to modernize that corridor for autonomous vehicle technology, and 2 lanes of North Avenue can be dedicated to BRT or these shuttles, or a combination. So I'm just here to tell you a little bit about that. I've got some documentation here I'd like to share it with you, but I just wanted to mention that to you. Love to work with the city on this project. We've got a lot of partners very interested in this project. We do need a local government sponsor for the grant program. If any questions, I'm happy to answer.
No question, but we'll get the paperwork.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I seen Dr. Robinson come in and walk back out, going once. Dr. Robinson? Going twice. Dr. Robinson? Yeah. And as he come in, just like recognize my other colleague, join us on my right, Councilmember Lewis. Dr. Robinson, you're up next, sir. I see you have 2 people to yield time to you, so that's 9 minutes.
Good morning. Thank you for coming back to me. Out of respect for this body, Mr. Pace, Mr. Donald, and Ms. Cassandra Burks, our new COO. I'm sure the new HR at the commissioner is watching. There are some things that have troubled me that I usually would bring up in this body, but there are some serious things that's going on in our HR that we need to address, and we need to have a conversation that I think we've been taking certain things for granted. I'm sure some of my people from the airport here today, and I didn't come down here today to talk about that because we did have a meeting with council to talk about the money. But once it's coming from council, there's no action coming from the powers that be to tell y'all that, oh, we've been working on it. Oh, we're going to talk about the money. It's not happening. And if we think for 1 second that these grown people, men and women coming down here, taking off from work, risking their jobs to come down here to keep talking about it, we can't take that for granted because nobody wants to do that. Paying for parking, and they coming down here and we still haven't addressed the money. And those are some things that we seriously have to address. And when it comes to HR, you guys got to understand that there are jobs out here being given to people where they're waiving the credentials that you must have, and they're giving away 6-figure jobs, Mr. Hillis, Mr. Warren, Mr. Lewis, Ms. Overstreet, Mr. Amos. 6-figure jobs are being given away with, you mean bare minimum high school diploma? By the grace of God, I don't have to punch on the clock, but God damn it, I want a job. If they're gonna give away 6-figure with only a high school diploma, I think I meet that requirement. I think everybody in here meet that requirement. But we are just allowing this to happen under our watch. And we can no longer have that. Like we can't. Either we're gonna address the money today, Mr. CO Bala, if you listening, he gave his word. I don't know where he is on it. Once again, nobody's coming down here trying to blame nobody, but we need to address this today and just let this be. This body said in this room that we will have the airport to address it. Now, they gave a phony report on what Mr. Bill Dorey gave back. You guys know that wasn't right. He did not meet with them because he told them, hey, I'm not gonna be here no more. I'm not meeting with you guys. So the report that the airport gave you guys back was a big fat lie. These men and women will tell y'all they never talked with them. They still don't have uniforms, still don't have walkie-talkies. Imagine you got live airplanes out there at nighttime, Mr. Hillis, and Mr. Warren, your life in danger, Mr. Lewis. You can't communicate. Hey man, look, no walkie-talkies, but they started giving all these people in here 6-figure jobs out there, creating assistant airport general managers. On the way out the door, Mr. Bill Dorey created 2 more assistant airport general managers. How many do we need? This is why we can't pay our airport general managers over $300,000, which I do believe how badly that these last previous have performed. I do believe that we should be around $600-700 like the rest of them if we're gonna be #1 in America like we say we are, but we don't treat our people right. But regardless of that, if we're gonna be the business most efficient airport, I do agree our airport general manager need to be making $600,000-700,000, right? However, I don't think we need 20 or 30 assistant airport general managers. Y'all know we don't need that. Come on, man. We gotta seriously consider people coming down here putting their jobs in jeopardy. HR would tell y'all there are no retaliation against these people. I guarantee if you ask them on camera, they would tell you that. Miss Candace College, which I don't understand how someone could get let go from the law department and get a job in HR making 6 figures. How are we approving these salaries? How and why? If law let you go, all I can do is go to HR and make 6 figures. Come on, man, we know that's a dumping ground. The same way a lot of people know it's rumor that if you want to make 6 figures and hire, go to the airport, they'll hire you. The airport and HR is a laughing stock and an embarrassment and a black eye to the city of Atlanta. It is. These are things that we can get right. Somebody's always going to say this mayor didn't do it right. Some people will criticize Maynard, Andy, Bill, Shirley, Kasim, Keisha, now Andre, Mayor Dickens. Someone will always criticize those people because people think they can do it better. But these things that we can get right within the council body, when you're talking about stopping the cronyism and the theft in HR and treating people right, man, we can control those things. All we got to do is just make it happen and stop allowing them to do certain things. It was appalling to me when I got the report that the HR commissioner, Tarlisha Smith, demanded her husband be the new fire chief in Atlanta. I won't take a job that you hire my husband. What the? Man, I don't even want to cuss out respect for you, Councilman Amos. But when I seen that, man, the nerve of you, I won't take this job that you hire my husband as the fire chief in Atlanta, Mr. Hillis. Like the balls of you. And she have brought 6 people here that y'all know making 6 figures with no education, with no experience. She have put 6 people throughout every department in the city of Atlanta to be her spy and to hold these commissioners accountable and to hijack them. There are some good people in the city of Atlanta can't get hired right now on hold because HR won't release it. Or if you take this person, I'm gonna hold this up. Talk to Chief Shearbaum off the record. Ask him how many APD applications being held up because of HR. You know what I'm saying? Because of their friction with her. Ask him. You ain't gotta ask him on record. Let's ask him off record. Just ask these things, man. Her number 2 person she brought here, he quit on her. He the one went into, I'm sure y'all read the report from IG, y'all probably didn't read all them pages, but he told IG half of that stuff. She brought him here. Her number 2 person, that was her right hand in, you know what I'm saying, in Miami, brought him here. He said, oh, I'm not going to federal prison because what we doing down here, it's gonna lead me to jail. I'm not going. He quit on her. You would have the union to come here and tell you different things. Now for me, you know what I'm saying, for my limited understanding when it comes to union, I think they're supposed to represent the people, not management. I don't think you should spend more time taking up for how good you think your HR commissioner is, but you haven't spoken not one word of these people. But you go out there and tell them to join your union and not have me speak for you, but when you come down here in front of this body, you talk about how good this HR commissioner is because it benefits you. Because I guarantee you, the people that speaking how good she is, I guarantee you they got children work for the city who have been promoted. Guarantee you they work for the city and have been promoted. I guarantee you anybody that speak good of her, it benefits them. Where for me, it don't benefit me not one iota when I come down here and speak out against, as I don't get no enjoyment of speaking out against people. But when you're doing people wrong, somebody got to speak up against it and call it out, and we got to do something about it. And we can't keep coming down here having them to take off work once again. So they feel strongly about their pay, their uniform, their safety. Like, we're not even giving them hazardous pay. I think that should have been the first thing we did. Let's wait on the 412 if that's what we got to do. But today, I think we could have given y'all hazardous pay because your job is very hazardous. We just seen last 2 weeks ago that when the water was turned out, how important the water is. And I'm glad that Mr. Lewis, you was on board to help get the water situation, you know what I'm saying, they're paid 2 years ago. So we gotta take these things serious, not from this body, but we gotta do something about it because all of you have weighed in and spoke out on it and tried to help this body, but we need to do something with it. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you. So that brings us to the end of our public comment. I didn't want to do this. Mr. Jones, you read from a statement. Inside this statement, I heard an official request of this body. Is it possible for you to give that statement to Mr. Overton so we can do what we need to do to see where we go with that official request that you have made of this body? Thank you, sir. Okay, that takes us to our next item, which is presentation reports and updates. We are actually going to reschedule the transportation quarterly update to our next meeting, which is the 10th. We're going to have to get it in before on the 10th, or it would not be a quarterly update. The question is why we reschedule. Unfortunately, our commissioner wants to be here to do it, and he is still out. So, but it is clearly understood without a natural disaster that we're going to move forward on July 10th with the presentation. And then the Atlanta Regional Commission has been submitted to you in writing by our rep on the ARC, and we're actually looking at the date that we can actually get the executive director of the ARC down to actually do an in-person presentation to us. So that next leads us to communications and resolutions. So as soon as Mr. Overton is ready, we can sound the caption, please.
Communications and resolutions, item number 1, 24R3701, a resolution by Committee on Council to appoint council members Jason Dozier of District 4, Liliana Bakhtiari of District 5, and Dustin Hillis of District 9 to serve as the City Council's appointment to the Atlanta Fatal Crash Review Commission for a term of 2 years and for other purposes.
My second motion has been made in second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Motion is favorable. Before we move on to consent agenda, I would like to make a request. Since I think we was ready to read a presentation on Transportation Department, has that been forwarded to the committee? If we can, let's forward that to the committee. That way we can formulate any questions or comments and concerns so we can try to make the 10th as productive as possible. So if we can get that sent over.
Yeah.
Thank you. That takes us to our consent agenda. Sound the caption, please. First reads.
Item number 2, 24O1361, an ordinance by the Transportation Committee authorizing the City of Atlanta to waive the competitive procurement source selection provisions contained in Section 2-1187 and 2-1163 of Article 10 of the Procurement and Real Estate Code of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, as well as any other conflicting code provisions on behalf of the Department of Aviation to ratify services rendered in connection with Agreement FC 9842, Plane Train Tunnel West Extension Phase 1 and Phase 2, automated people mover system at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport with Alstrom Transport USA Incorporated, beginning August 3rd, 2023, and retroactively extend the term of the agreement for 40 months from August 30th, 2023 through December 31st, 2026, and for other purposes. Item number 3, 24O1362, an ordinance by Transportation Committee amending the fiscal year 2025 airport passenger facility charge fund budget by transferring to and from appropriations in the amount of $41,631,669.00 to provide funding for various projects at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport and for other purposes.
That takes us to our second reads.
Item number 4, 24O1329, an ordinance by the Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute the Second Amendment to Agreement FC 9034 on-street parking management program with SP Plus all-in-one joint venture on behalf of the Department of Transportation to extend the term of the agreement on a month-to-month basis to begin on June 14, 2024 through March 31st, 2025, to waive Chapter 2, Article 10, Division 4 of the Procurement and Real Estate Code of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, insofar as it shall be necessary to authorize the actions authorized hereby and for other purposes.
Motion to approve. Question? Okay, I withdraw that motion until such time. I'd like to hear from the department.
Hi, good morning. Betty Smoot-Madison, Deputy Commissioner for Strategy and Planning with ATL DOT. This legislation will allow us to continue the current services with the current vendor while allowing us time to develop the RFP for a new contract. And we are onboarding a consultant to help us with the development of that RFP. And we anticipate being able to release a RFP for solicitation of a new service within the next 6 months.
Ms. Boyd? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I mean, this obviously is an important function for the city. I'm kind of confused as to why we're now in a position where we're not even started the RFP process. I mean, we're past when the renewal options had ended, and it shouldn't have been a surprise to y'all that we were in this situation. So I'm curious as to why we find ourselves here.
I will say, I think ATL DOT has had a number of changes over the last year or so. And so we really needed that time to get our leadership up to speed on what was happening with the program, what were the goals. And so there was just a time period and lapse of time and getting our new leadership on board with moving forward. And so we are here now. We're looking forward to moving this forward as quickly as possible. We have a strong scope of work for our consultants. We have already met with them. They are ready to get moving. They have a solid understanding of where we want this next contract iteration to be and the goals of that. We've also met with Councilmember Amos to go through those goals with him and just assure him that we are moving this program in the right direction. And so we do feel confident that we'll be able to move through this RFP development process pretty quickly. But I do understand the question about the timing.
Why do we need a consultant to help us scope this project out? It's parking management.
The industry has evolved a lot since the last iteration of our contract and development of our contract. There's been a lot of development in the industry, technology, best practices. And so we really just want to make sure that we are working with a team that is well-versed in this industry and knows what other cities are doing and really can help us put together a strong RFP. We feel pretty solid about the goals that we have for the program, but it helps to have that additional outside external lens to help us.
Got it. Have we already seen, has council already seen the paper for the consultant?
The scope of work? I don't believe so, so we can share that.
Wait, so we haven't even engaged the consultant yet?
We have. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I misunderstood your question. I thought you said, did council see the scope of work for?
No, obviously, if we're engaging a consultant, the council would have had to authorize through legislation in terms of engaging that. Has that come through us already?
We're utilizing our general engineering services contract for this work.
Okay.
So.
Okay. I'm very troubled by this. I mean, I think you're right. Leadership changes all the time in all the departments, but we need to be prepared for that even in light of leadership change, that the staff folks are making sure that the trains are still running on time. And this feels like a major lapse. So I'll yield, but I just wanted to express my concern. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Received. Thank you.
Councilmember Overstreet.
Literally, I was wondering the same thing because I've not seen legislation about a consulting firm. How often do we use a consulting firm for our RFPs? Is that protocol? Is that a regular practice of ours? And how much do we usually pay for that? And that's why I know I've not seen that, because I've not heard of a contractor, a consulting firm putting together our RFP package. And I just want to better understand that.
I will say from the strategy and planning side, I can't really speak to the entirety of the department, but from strategy and planning, this will be the first time that we've utilized a consultant to help put together the RFP. But again, because this industry has evolved so much, we really just wanted to make sure we were putting together the best package that addressed all of our needs and services for the next. Again, this will be a long-term contract. The last one was 7 years in total. So we do want to make sure that this next one gives us everything that we'll need, not just today, but into the future. And so we just want to make sure that we're bringing in that external expertise to ensure that we're really creating a program that solves our future needs as well and curb management needs.
So My thought on that is we're never going to be able to solve for all the problems that are going to arise in 7 years. But I do want us to be RFP savvy and bid savvy so that we don't feel like we aren't nimble enough and expert enough as a city to put packages together as needed because of whatever is happening in the industry at the time. There's no way we're going to know what we're going to need for the full 7 years, or if we're going to put together a package that's going to be, 7-year proof where we're not going to need anything else. I don't think that that's ever an expectation for an RFP, that we're, done with it and we've figured out everything that could possibly happen for however many years. I just don't think that's our goal. I certainly don't want to start a practice where we're putting together, where we're hiring consultant firms for our packages. I don't want to do that. Like literally, I don't want to. And if we do, I definitely want that to come before council so that we're clear on how we're spending our money, wherever it may be tucked. And we understand the full process. None of that feels exactly right for me. I am fine with this extension because of where we are. I also, don't want to put it on ATL-DOT that we have a lot of fluctuation and changes, and leadership needs to be brought up to speed on where we are with every little thing, because we're high functioning. I'm hopeful that we will be able to do that in a seamless way in the future with any leadership change.
Yes, absolutely.
Certainly not where it's going to cost us using dollars that council doesn't know about to develop RFPs or packages. If that's clear.
It's clear.
It's not a practice that I just want to be on the record and clear that this is not something I ever want us to do again.
Okay.
For sure.
Received.
Okay, thank you.
I will say, even if we do not utilize the consultant, we will still need this additional time to get the RFP out on the street. Yeah.
That's why I'm supportive today.
Okay.
That's the only reason I'm supportive today,
I appreciate
to be
it.
honest. Okay. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Lewis.
I stand in solidarity with my council members, Councilmember Overstreet and Councilmember Wan, because parking is not such a complicated issue. And if our procurement department and if they can't put together a parking contract, that's what I'm thinking about. Watershed, I would understand some of our some difficult stuff in difficult departments, but parking, Atlanta, we do it better than any state any place in the world. And so for us to have to go and get a consulting firm for a parking contract is what has us all asking this. And for you to also say this is the first time, did you say that it's the first time
For
we've ever
strategy
done that?
and planning, it is.
Why would we choose parking to do that?
Again, it's a major area. The industry is large. There's a lot of companies out there that offer different services. There's a lot of companies out there that offer different technologies. We have a program where we are looking into where there's expansion opportunities, where there's a potential increase in fees. And so there's just a lot packed into the parking program. And we just want to make sure that we are building a program that is sustainable for the long term. And having that additional external expertise that has worked in other cities, that has put together these types of RFPs in other cities, we just thought it would be valuable to have that external expertise.
And I know other cities are always trying to catch up to us. And so sometimes we go to cities that aren't at us yet, and I don't want us to be going backwards for us to be doing this the first time. And a little nervous also, slippery slope, because parking being such a simple thing that we typically do, I'm nervous about watershed and the utilities, because if we start this now, we definitely would probably need it in the other departments. I understand the expertise, but that's the slippery slope I'm most nervous about, because once again, parking is a simple thing. But thank you again. I stand in solidarity with Councilmember Overstreet, Councilmember Wan on this.
Thank you. And, you know, Ms. Smooth Madison, I love to stand here and let you take this hit by yourself, but I'm not. This timeline was affected by me a little because I met with them and I really felt if we would have gone out for RFP, just the information we needed to develop, as she said, a proper RFP for the future. We did not have that information. It's still some legal stuff I think we need to talk about. Who can enforce the neighborhood parking permit zones? Because right now our vendor cannot do that because it is a legal thing. Bike lanes, how do we enforce that? Do we go with cameras, physical people? So a lot of that stuff should be in the RFP now.
Yes.
How do we move forward with all of the questions other people was asking us? But the reoccurring theme, not only here, but at the airport and every place else, is the appearance of the inability of our procurement department to do their job. That's why your task force is so important, because we're facing things from airport, from shuttle to shuttle, to terminal, to now this. It goes back to our procurement department and our disciplinary contract compliance department. And I would use words as that, because that's I'm passionate that I am about it. But that task force of procurement needs to be stood up. We need to look at our codes and policies so our departments stop getting caught up in an ineffective process. I know I'm getting some phone calls and emails, but thank you. Motion to approve. Second. Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Motion is favorable. Next item, please.
Next item, Mr. Chair, there is a request to substitute this item on behalf of the Atlanta Department of Transportation. The substitute would change the funding sources in section 7 and 8.
Motion has been made and second.
They're rude motion or something.
It's all right. It's all right.
Please open the vote.
Vote is open.
Please vote.
Vote is closed.
Substitute is for us. Please read the caption.
Item number 5, 24013330, an ordinance by the Transportation Committee as substituted by the Transportation Committee waiving the competitive source selection requirements contained in Article 10, Division 4 of the Procurement and Real Estate Code of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances to authorize the mayor or his designee to execute agreements with the sanitation service providers, security services, and any other vendors necessary to support the City of Atlanta's production of the 2024 Atlanta Streets Alive program on behalf of the Atlanta Department of Transportation and for other purposes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Question? Yep, got it. Well, motion has been made and second.
Sorry,
discussion.
Sorry, Mr. Chair. So I
problem.
understand, the funding source, which is why we brought forward the substitute. It's from the Capital Finance Fund? Is that appropriate for Streets Alive?
So we have currently a safety mobility capital finance fund. And so we would be utilizing that to receive any sponsorships that come in for Streets Alive.
So this is a receipt and dole out, but it is not an authorization of funding to come from that fund, correct?
Correct. So this paper is to authorize us to be able to receive sponsorships related to Atlanta Streets Alive.
Okay, so it's no additional city funds that are being appropriated for this, out of this fund?
Not this particular paper, no.
Thank you for that clarification.
Any more discussion? Seeing none, there's a motion on the floor that has been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. Next item.
Next item, item number 6, 24013331, an ordinance by the Transportation Committee to amend the fiscal year 2024 capital budget for various capital funds in the aggregate amount of $3,464,587.09 to transfer appropriations from completed, canceled, realigned, or postponed projects at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport and for other purposes.
Motion to approve. Motion been made and second. Please open the vote.
Open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. Next item.
Next item, item number 7, 24-01332, an ordinance by Transportation Committee to amend various funds and budgets listed herein by transferring to and from appropriations in a total amount of $89,076,740.00 for reimbursement of the Aviation Encumbrance Program and for other purposes.
Motion to approve. Motion been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. Next item, please.
Next item, item number 8, 24-01333, an ordinance by the Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or his designee to accept grant award funds from the Georgia Department of Transportation for construction services for the Spring Street Viaduct Replacement Bridge Project Phase 2, to amend the fiscal year 2025 intergovernmental grant fund budget by adding to anticipations and appropriations in the amount of $3,935,765.53, to extend the term of the construction agreement between the Atlanta Department of Transportation and the Georgia Department of Transportation for project numbers listed herein through final acceptance of work with substantial completion to occur on or before April 25th, 2025. All contracted work will be charged to and paid from the fund, department, organization, and account number listed herein and for other purposes.
Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. Next item.
Next item is item number 9, 24-01334, an ordinance by the Transportation Committee to amend various budgets and funds listed herein by transferring to and from appropriation a total amount of $37,600,630.00 and for other purposes.
Motion to approve. Motion been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. Next item.
Next item is item number 10, 24-01335, an ordinance by the Transportation Committee establishing the fiscal year 2025 Airport Renewal and Extension Fund budget by transferring to and from appropriations the amount of $227,457,524.00 to provide funding for various projects at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport and for other purposes.
Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. Next item.
Next item, item number 11, 24-01336, an ordinance by the Transportation Committee to ratify the City of Atlanta's submission of an application for the fiscal year 2024 U.S. Department of Transportation Safe Streets and Roads for All implementation grant in an amount not to exceed $15 million to be utilized for the implementation of the Vision Zero Action Plan. If awarded, to accept such funding and to enter into any necessary agreements for grant participation and implementation and for other purposes.
Second. Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. Next item.
Next item, item number 12, 24-01337, an ordinance by the Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or his designee to exercise the final renewal option for FC 9878 Construction Project Management Software System with eBuilder Incorporated on behalf of the Atlanta Department of Transportation for a term of 1 year, retroactively effective May 31st, 2024 through May 30th, 2025, in an amount not to exceed $388,949.14, with all contractor work to be charged to and paid from the fund, department, organization, and account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
Second. Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. Next item.
Next item, item number 13, 2401338, an ordinance by Councilmember Byron D. Amos authorizing the City of Atlanta to waive the competitive source selection provisions contained in Section 2-1187 of Article 10, Procurement and Real Estate Code of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances, as well as any other conflicting code provisions, to revive FC 10300, curbside management services at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, with MTI Limo and Shuttle Services Incorporated doing business as Front Row Parking, to ratify services and execute an amendment extending the term of the contract on a month-to-month basis for a period of up to 12 months, retroactively effective beginning May 29, 2024, in an amount not to exceed $7,200,001.00. All contract work will be charged to and paid from the account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
There's a question, Councilmember Juan.
Thank you. So I like the word, the revival of this. Are the terms, I just want clarification, the scope of work, are the terms the same as it was before, or is it still the increased scope as we were talking about in previous iterations or conversation?
Good morning, Tyrania Smith, Assistant General Manager for Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Councilmember Juan, this is a continuation of services with additional staffing to support the needs of the airport along the curbs.
And I appreciate the inclusion in there about the procurement code waiving. So
Yes, sir.
I'll move to approve.
There's a motion on the floor that has been made a second. Discussion. You asked if there was an expansion of scope.
I would just want a clarification, which she said. We had talked about if, in the last conversations around this, there would be increased staffing at certain positions to enhance the service level, and I just wanted that clarification.
But there's definitely a need for increased staffing because the scope was increased as well. Services was added to the contract. So there's a motion. Any more discussion? Seeing none, please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. Next item.
Next item is brings us to our resolutions.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, there was a no vote. Could you please read into the record?
Oh, yes. That's 4 yeas, 1 nay. So the item stands favorable.
Okay, that brings us to our resolutions and item number 14, 24R3705, a resolution by Councilmember Jason Dozer requesting the mayor or his designee to make an all-way stop-controlled intersection at Rochelle Drive and Rustboro Drive Southwest and for other purposes. Mr. Chair, there is a request to hold this item on behalf of the department.
Second. Motion has been made and second to hold. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. Chair recognizes Councilmember Lewis. It's held in committee now. Recognized.
I want a motion to bring back the number 13 to reconsider my vote.
Reconsider.
Motion has been made. I second that motion to reconsider.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Motion passes. Item number 13, 24-0-1338 is back before us. Motion has been made and second to approve. Please open the vote if there's no discussion. Seeing none, open the vote.
Vote is open. Looks good on our end. One moment, please. The item is favorable with 3 yeas, 1 nay, and 1 abstention.
Thanks, sir. We'll take that as until you read it into record. That takes us back to item number 15, correct? Resolutions?
Yes. Item number 15, 24R3710, a resolution by Councilmember Marcy Collier Overstreet authorizing the mayor or his designee to apply for reimbursable grant funding from the United States Department of Transportation Charging and Fueling Infrastructure Discretionary Grant Program for both community charging and fueling grant funds and alternative fuel corridor grant funds for electric vehicle charging infrastructure deployment across strategic locations in the city of Atlanta and for other purposes.
Second. My item has been made second. Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. Next item.
Next item, item number 16, 24R3713, a resolution by Councilmember Dustin Hillis requesting the mayor or his designee to install traffic calming devices on St. Paul Avenue Northwest between Hollywood Road and Hightower Road in order to reduce speeding and for other purposes. Mr. Chair, there is a request to file this item on behalf of the department. This is a duplicate item that was approved of October last year as Resolution 23R4258.
Motion has been made second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. Next item.
Next item, item number 17, 24R3714, a resolution by Councilmember Antonio Lewis requesting the mayor or his designee to install traffic calming devices on Thornton Street Southwest between Pryor Road Southwest and Lincoln Street Southwest and for other purposes. Mr. Chair, there is a request to amend this item. The amendment would make edits to the language throughout the legislation.
Second. Motion to amend has been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
The amended item is before us. You need to read the caption. Again, it doesn't change.
The caption does not change in the
Very
amendments.
good.
As amended. Yeah.
Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. Next item.
Next item is item number 18. Mr. Chair, there is also a motion to, a request for a motion to amend this item. The amendment would also make changes to the language throughout the legislation.
Motion to amend. Motion been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. May everyone please vote? The vote is closed.
The amended item is before us.
This is item number 18, 24R3715, a resolution by Councilmember Antonio Lewis as amended by the Transportation Committee requesting the mayor or his designee to install traffic calming devices on Lincoln Street Southwest between Taft Street Southwest and Arthur Langford Jr. Place Southwest and for other purposes.
Second. Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. Next item.
Next item, item number 19. Mr. Chair, there is a request to amend this item. The amendment also makes changes to the language throughout the legislation.
Motion to amend. Motion been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Amended item is before us.
This is item number 19, 24R3716, a resolution by Councilmember Antonio Lewis as amended by the Transportation Committee requesting the mayor or his designee to install traffic calming devices along Hip Street Southwest and for other purposes.
Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Can all council members please vote? Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. Next item.
Next item, item number 20, 24R3717, a resolution by Councilmember Alex Wan requesting the mayor or his designee to make the intersection of Ponce de Leon Place Northeast and Virginia Circle Northeast a three-way stop-controlled intersection, to request the Atlanta Department of Transportation to install stop signs at the intersection and for other purposes.
Second. Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. Will be held.
Next item, item number 21, 24R3751, a resolution by the Transportation Committee supplementing a task order fund the amount not to exceed $20,925,077.00 for use under contract number FC 8640, Construction Management Support Services at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, with ATL Construction Management Partners, a joint venture comprised of CH2M Hill Incorporated, Roadhat Fox Construction Control Services Corporation, and Parsons Transportation Group Incorporated, to provide construction management support services for the Department of Aviation on a task order basis. All services will be charged to and paid from the account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
Second. Motion been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. Next item.
Next item, item number 22, 24R3752, a resolution by the Transportation Committee supplementing a joint task order fund in an amount not to exceed $23,975,154.00 for use under 4 market managing general contractor service contracts at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport for the Department of Aviation on a task order basis. All services will be charged to and paid from account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
Motion to approve. Motion been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. Next item.
Next item, item number 23, 24R3753, a resolution by Transportation Committee supplementing a task order fund in the amount of $25,723,003.00 for use under contract number FC7744, Program Management Support Services at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, with Atlanta Aviation Associates, a joint venture to provide program management support services for the Department of Aviation on a task order basis. All services will be charged to and paid from account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
Motion to approve. Motion been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. I think that takes us to our dual referred. There are none. Papers held in committee, I think there are 2. Item number 36 is the first one. When you get there, Mr. Overton, please sound the caption.
Item number 36, 24O1272, an ordinance by Councilmember Byron D. Amos authorizing the mayor or his designee on behalf of the Department of Aviation to exercise a second renewal option for FC 10300, curbside management services at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport with MTI Limo and Shuttle Services Incorporated, doing business as Front Row Parking for a term of 2 years, retroactively effective from May 29, 2024 through May 28, 2026, and to add funding in an amount not to exceed $13,700,001.00. All contractor work will be charged to and paid from account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
Second. Motion has been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Paper will be filed. Takes us to our next item is 37, I believe.
Yeah, item number 37. Mr. Chair, there is a request to amend this item. The amendment attaches the IPER report, which was sent to the committee separately.
Motion to amend. Motion made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
The amended item is before us.
This is item number 37, 24R3695, a resolution by the Transportation Committee as amended by Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute an agreement for a contract number listed herein for the noise insulation program, miscellaneous properties at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport with SNL Specialty Contracting Incorporated in an initial amount of $100,000.00 for fiscal year 2025 on behalf of the Department of Aviation. All services will be charged to and paid from account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
Motion to approve. Motion been made and second. Please open the vote.
Vote is open. Vote is closed.
Item is favorable. I think that brings us to the end of our legislative agenda. Any comments, concerns? Seeing none, stand adjourned. Thank you. Yeah.